Stop living your life on repeat and do this instead. Exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. It's time for you to change. So why do we live life on repeat? Well, there are a few reasons for this, but one of the main reasons is it is familiar to us, and we are creatures of comfort. And what's so interesting about human beings is when we get together with friends and family, what do we talk about? We tend to talk about what we've done, maybe even talk about what we're doing, but we very rarely talk about the future. So if you want to stop living life on repeat, you've definitely got to take a bit more ownership of your life as it is right now. And what you want to do instead is think about something called legacy. Dr. Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of those habits is to begin with the end in mind. When I first read the book, I didn't actually really understand what he meant, because I just thought he meant, what, do you mean the end of your life? And he does mean that in terms of when you leave this earth, what is it you want to leave behind? Now, some people might say, well, nothing, I don't really care. But a lot of people want to leave a mark. They want to leave a legacy. In fact, I did a podcast with Dr. John DEMARTINI, who talked about beginning with the end in mind, but the end not just being the end of your life. He talked about, what do you want the legacy of your life to be in 1,000 years? And that flipping blew my mind. But how many people are there today that we still talk about who died 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, 1,000, 2,000 years ago, from ancient Greek philosophers to Stoic philosophers to people like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, all of these people that we talk about them because they left a mark. They left a legacy. And what Stephen Covey asks people to do is to think about the end of your life, and you are at your own funeral and you're hearing what people are saying about you. What would you want people to be saying about you? Because unless you start to think about the end of your life, what do you think you're going to do? Well, for most people, they're going to live life on repeat. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the fact that when most people are around the age of 35 years old, 95% of who they are is just a set of conditioned responses, habits, attitudes, beliefs, ways of operating through the world. And that's who we think we are. And most people are so into who they think they are, they will defend their old habits. They will defend their position unless something bad happens, a disaster, a prognosis. Then we often see people coming out of their comfort zones and starting to behave in ways that they wouldn't normally behave. Until they get out of that pain, they invariably go back to their comfort zone. If you want to stop living your life on repeat, I think it's absolutely essential to look at the story that you're telling yourself, to become more aware of what you talk about, what you think about, because what you talk about and what you think about, it comes about. And it's Jim Rohn that said it's the same wind in life that blows us all. It is the setting of the sail. And I'd really encourage you to think about the setting of the sail of the legacy of what you want to leave behind. Both my parents have passed away, and yeah, they've left pictures and other things, objects and things that were precious to them. But what they really left behind was a legacy, an imprint on me and all of the other people that they came into contact with. Look, the most successful team in sporting history is the New Zealand rugby team. And they have a philosophy. They have a legacy. And it's as simple as this. Whether you play 1 game or 100 games for New Zealand, the idea is that you leave the team in a better place than you found it. And that's what I think we should all be doing. It's our choice, which again is something that Jim Rohn talks about. We're the only animals, as far as we know, that have this dignity of choice. So most people today are being sold a dream, an illusion, that just have a life where you're just comfortable. But most people, when they're comfortable, they know deep down they're settling for a life of mediocrity. They feel stuck. They feel a prisoner in their own world, in their own mind. And that is a recipe for anxiety and depression. I've spoken about this on other of our YouTube videos about the man who won the Nobel Prize in 1937 for his theory on something called syntropy, which is that every living cell lives for one reason, and for one reason only. It lives to grow and expand. And if you want to stop living your life on repeat, I think it's absolutely essential for you to start thinking about, who do you want to be? You can reinvent yourself. You can create a new personality. I believe that your personality is the person that you're choosing to become. It's just most people are choosing to become exactly who they are right now, and they wonder why they can't change. It's time for us to design our life by using our ultimate superpowers, which is our ability to break habits and our ability to install habits that are in alignment with our legacy. I once heard someone say that hell is coming to the end of your life and meeting the person that you could have become. Look, ultimately, this all revolves around choice. The easiest choice that you're going to make is the same choices that you've always made. If you decide to make some different choices, it's probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Just like if I said put your hands together with one thumb on top of the other thumb, and you took them apart and put them back together with the other thumb on top, chances are it would just feel uncomfortable, like this isn't me. We form habits to allow ourselves to move through the world in the way that we can. Are you ready for reinvention? Are you ready for a legacy? If you want to dive a little bit deeper into this, then check out the video, which is a breakdown of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You can be like everybody else, or you can be a highly effective person. Thank you for watching. Check out that video, and we'll see you next time.